In the heart of the Oyo Empire, Princess Adesewa was known not only for her beauty, but for her mind. While other maidens adorned themselves with beads and fine cloth, she spent her evenings listening to the council of elders, asking questions about law, war, and diplomacy. The Alaafin, her father, often smiled with pride, though the chiefs whispered that such curiosity was unbecoming of a woman destined for marriage. One evening, the king summoned her. "Daughter," he said, "your hand has been promised to the prince of Nupe. This union will bind our kingdoms and keep war from our gates." Adesewa bowed in silence, but in her heart a storm raged. She had seen the arrogance of the Nupe warriors, their disdain for Oyo's women. She did not wish to be a pawn in their games. That night, as the palace drums echoed into silence, Adesewa made her decision. She would not oppose her father, but she would prepare for what her heart told her. Danger was coming. Under the cloak of darkness, Adesewa gathered a small group of loyal palace guards and maidens. In the abandoned courtyard where weeds crept between cracked stones, she trained them in secret. Spears clashed, shields rang, and voices whispered odes of loyalty to their princess.
Adesewa's methods were sharp and unrelenting. "You must strike as lightning, swift and unseen," she told them. "Our enemies will never expect women to fight, and that is our strength." For months the secret grew. The women trained in silence, hiding their spears beneath baskets of yam, their shields behind woven mats. The king never knew. The chiefs never suspected. But whispers carried through the market that strange sounds came from the palace walls at night, like warriors preparing for war. And far to the north, the Nupe prince gathered his men, not for a wedding feast, but for conquest. The wedding day came, bright with drums and dancers. The Nupe delegation arrived, their warriors armed under the guise of escorts. Adesewa watched closely, her heart heavy with unease. That night, while the kingdom feasted, the betrayal began. The Nupe soldiers turned on the palace guards, blades flashing in the torchlight. "Seize Oyo!" shouted the prince, revealing his true intent. The Alaafin, unprepared, was dragged from his throne, his chiefs scattering in panic.
But within the chaos, Adesewa moved swiftly. She sounded a hidden drum, and from the shadows of the courtyard, her secret warriors emerged, women clad in leather, spears gleaming like fireflies. The palace shook with cries of shock as maidens who once served wine now fought like lionesses. The tide of battle turned, but the Nupe were fierce, their numbers vast. The night grew long, and the fate of Oyo hung by a thread. Adesewa took her place at the front, her voice carrying above the clash of steel. "Oyo, stand! Fight for your king! Fight for your land!" The palace guards, inspired by her courage, rallied to her side. Men and women fought shoulder to shoulder, pushing the invaders back. The Nupe prince, enraged, charged toward her. "A woman dares lead against me?" he spat. Their spears met in the center of the courtyard. The prince struck hard, but Adesewa's training had honed her speed. With a swift strike, she disarmed him, the tip of her spear at his throat.
"Return to your land," she said coldly, "and tell them Oyo bows to no traitor." Humiliated, the Nupe warriors fled into the night, leaving their dead behind. When the dawn rose, the courtyard was stained with blood, but Oyo still stood. And it stood because of a princess who refused to be silent. The Alaafin sat upon his throne once more, his eyes heavy with shame and pride. "Daughter," he said, "it was your wisdom and courage that saved this kingdom. While men of power fled, you stood firm. You have shown the strength of Oyo's bloodline." The chiefs bowed low before her, their earlier whispers silenced. The people sang her name in the markets, calling her Adesewa the Lioness. She was no longer just a princess promised in marriage. She had become a symbol of resistance, a commander, a legend. Adesewa refused the hand of the Nupe prince, and no one dared question her. Instead, she continued to train warriors, men and women alike, building a defense that would keep Oyo strong for generations. And so the story was told that when betrayal struck at Oyo's gates, it was not the king nor the chiefs who saved the empire, but the daughter of the throne, whose wisdom became the shield of her people.